Hello, good afternoon. It is Friday, which means it's time for our digital marketing live streams here on YouTube, as well as Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitch as well. Now we are omnipresent. We are everywhere. Before we get started, I'd love to know where you're watching us from today, as well as invite you to hit like and subscribe down below. So it doesn't matter if you're following us on Twitch or on Facebook or any of those other places. Do hit subscribe or follow, and you will never miss a video or live stream from us again. Very important that you do hit like, and if you've done like and subscribe, please do hit share so that more people, more business owners, marketing managers, heads of marketing, heads of SEO, content marketing, email marketing, heads of sales, all of you lovely people get to share this and more people get to benefit from it as well. Again, where are you watching from? Really important to me to know. I can tell you that I am in a kind of grey-ish Edinburgh today, but that will come as no surprise to anyone. Phil, hello, how you doing? Good to see you from Tokyo. Before we do get started with our presentation today, I've got a couple of bits of caretaking to do. The first piece, of course, is that if you do join the chat today, you will enter yourselves in for a copy of a very blurry copy of How to Get to the Top of Google, apparently. There we go. The 2022 edition. So all you have to do is be active in the chat, and you can start by telling me where you are watching from. Also, another bit of information is that coming up in just a few weeks' time, we're going to be doing our first event in a very, very long time. We're going to be doing a live virtual event starting at 9 o'clock, finishing at 5 p.m., where we're going to be helping you and your business to increase your traffic from Google, your on-site conversions, lead generation, product sales, email signups, all that kind of business. We're going to try and help you improve your digital marketing. So we've got a couple of things that are going to be covered on the day. We've got a couple of talks. One of them is going to be how we helped one business go from about $600 a month to 3.41 million sales per month. So we're going to help you understand the SEO campaign behind that. Also got how high performing websites make visitors buy. So this is a conversion rate optimization discussion. Going to have a roundtable session. We have two of these during the course of the day with subjects to be determined, but we're pretty much going to be focused on how to increase your revenue. We're going to be looking at how we can help boring businesses to increase their traffic, promote themselves, and just basically increase your revenue. Also got another one, which is how to get featured by well-respected websites without paying a penny. There's how to workshop your landing pages to sell more, always useful when you're a service business. Another roundtable session, this is going to be about how to create a successful digital marketing strategy, how to spy on your competitors' digital marketing, lessons learned from the fastest growing businesses, lessons from 10 years in digital marketing. This is going to be the keynote from Tim Cameron-Kitchen, who is the founder of our agency, Exposure Ninja, also does the recording of the majority of the videos you see here on our Exposure Ninja YouTube channel. So if you are interested in learning more about that, you can go to our website, exposureninja.com/dominate, and you'll be able to register for a ticket. And again, you can learn more about this event. There's 8 hours, 6 speakers, 2 roundtables, and 1 revenue increasing day. So if you do want to learn more about how to do fantastic digital marketing, may I add award-winning digital marketing, then this is going to be the day for you. So it's run by us, the UK Search Award winners. We know what we're talking about. You can learn an awful lot. Make sure you do register for a ticket. All of your speakers are familiar faces too. And your hosts are these wonderfully attractive people as well. We have the full schedule in here too. So yeah, there's a lot to take in from the day. It's going to be a lot of fun. So I'll be live streaming with Jess, as I mentioned before. We're going to be hosting from 9 until 5. So it's going to be non-stop. So I appreciate you dropping by and saying hi, dropping a like on the video as well, so all that kind of business. So exposureninja.com/dominate. And if Jess can just drop a comment in the chat, that would be great. And you can all click on that after the video, after you've heard from Abby, who's going to be joining us today. Hey, Abby, how you doing?
I'm good, thank you, Dale. How are you?
I'm doing super. Abby, if you'd like to tell people a little bit about yourself and what your role is at Exposure Ninja.
Yeah, of course. So my name's Abby. I'm the head of our email marketing department. I also work in the project management department as well. So yeah, everything I do is involved with communication. That's really my area.
Awesome. So you brought a presentation to us today, which is how to increase conversions using email automation. Before we do get started with that, I'm just getting my screens all sorted. Just going to see who else is in the chat today. So we have Lost Dodo joining us from Soggy Durham. We have Jack Robinson from West Bridgeford. We've got Adrian from Helsinki. Sorry. We've got Website Team. Oh, that's an interesting name your parents has given you. From London, we have Sherry. Hello. We have Explosion Ninja joining us from a rainy Grantham. Whoops, wrong account. Indeed, that was. And here's the address you need to go to register for a ticket for Dominate 2022. Fantastic. So, Abby, I have your stuff just here, your presentation. So, how to increase your conversions using email marketing. If you do have any questions about anything that Abby has to share today, just leave them to the end. We're streaming for an hour, so we've got 50 minutes. Should have enough time at the end for a few questions. And again, if you just drop that in the chat now, you'll be drawn in a prize draw at the end. Cool. Abby, would you like to take us from here and introduce the team to everyone in the chat?
Thanks, Dale. So yeah, to get started, about who the team is. So yeah, at the moment we're a team of 3. So it's myself. We've got Flora, who's an email specialist, and we've also got Hannah, who's our email marketing strategy manager. She isn't featured there, but yeah, she's an integral part of the team. And we also as well have a lot of the content marketing team as well come in and support with email writing and things like that. So yeah, it's a really collaborative team as well. List on here as well all the things that we work on. So the strategy, writing, design and upload. We do a variety HTML and template emails. We do all of the technical stuff, email automations, which is the focus of today's webinar, ongoing emails, which are the newsletter ones that we're all used to seeing, and analysis and reporting, which we all know is absolutely critical. Next slide, please.
Okay, there's quite a lot in there. So perhaps you can explain to us why you think businesses need to have email marketing.
So email marketing is just absolutely essential. If you have a product or a service that you want to sell, it's absolutely critical to have email marketing. This is the way that you can really talk to your customers in a personalized way. So customers or subscribers, the information you put on the website is always going to be kind of tailored to a lot of different people. But when you use email, you can really talk to people and talk to them about what they like, talk to them about their demographics. You can really tailor your content and build a relationship with them as well, which you can also do that on other channels. But I think email is one of the really most successful ones to do that in.
Super. I'm just going to let you run with it, and I'll change the slides for you when you want
Cool.
me to.
Thanks, Dale. Yeah, so covered the tailored and personal. So email really is suitable for absolutely everybody, brings in immediate results. So as soon as you send out an email, results can start coming in, provides a really high conversion rate. It's adaptable and scalable, and yeah, it's got a massive audience potential. So there's lots of reasons to sign up for email, but there really isn't very many reasons not to do it. So yeah, if you're not doing it now, then it's definitely something to look at. Thanks, Dale. So the first part of any campaign is going to be your strategy. So we set out here in sort of 5 key steps. A lot goes into each of these steps, but it's something that I think it would fit into any email campaign. So the first one, defining what you want to do. So what are your goals? What do you want to say? What products do you want to promote? What are the services you want to promote? Who do you want to say it to? So who have you got on your email list? Who do you want to segment it by? What does your workflow look like? So is it around your sales funnel? Is it your customer journey? Is it a specific campaign? Testing. So I know a lot of this was discussed, I think it was a few weeks back with Joe, wasn't it, around A/B testing. It's exactly the same when it comes to email, that it's really important that you test and try different things and really work out what is going to work best for your audience. Sending, that's pretty self-explanatory. So sending out the emails. Measure, which is how do you want to measure success? So this is also a really important one that I wanted to touch on. So it used to be that open rate was a really important measure of success. Thanks to new privacy laws, changes on iOS, we don't tend to focus on that one now. So we really focus more on click-through rate, which is around how many people are clicking on the email and going to the website or your landing page, conversion rate. And we also look at average order value as well, which is quite a good one to focus on in email. Looking at what worked well and what didn't work well, and what does all of this information tell us so that we can improve the campaign going forward. And then lastly is just reports. So This one is more focused on like the specifics. So the types of email clients people are using, purchase data. So what have they previously purchased for you? What are they signed up for? Subscriber data, and then things like devices. Are most of your email subscribers on mobile? Are they using desktop? And yeah, just it's really could go around in a circle with the campaign. So you kind of go through all of these steps and then continue. Yeah.
Anything big fan of the reporting. Yeah, big fan of the reporting part. As you say, you kind of narrow down your focus when you start to think, okay, majority of people are coming through mobile, then I should really heavily focus on making sure my emails are super mobile friendly. Big fan there.
Cool. So this is really where we want to be. So I think you can all say if anyone looked at their inbox right now, you'd probably have quite a generic email, a newsletter that's come through. It's promoting your product that maybe you have absolutely no interest in, but it's on a website you maybe subscribed to a few years ago, wanted a discount code, something like that. And now you keep getting these emails, which are clearly tailored to a massive amount of people. And that's what we would call the direct marketing emails in the left-hand side. So these ones, they tend to get an average of a 20% open rate. They're just kind of ones that are just someone's like broadcasting. So they've said, look, I really want to promote these products, and they've just broadcasted it to everyone on their email list. On the other side, we've got transactional emails, which are ones like order confirmations, password resets, things like that, which are more like operational type emails. And then where you really want to be is in the middle. So you want to have like the personalized touch. So you want to be really speaking to one person, but then using email marketing to do it. So sending targeted messages to a specific demographic of your audience, sending them information that's actually going to be interesting and valuable to them. Cool. So moving on to email automation benefits. So email automations, just to give a bit of background. So email automations are different from the newsletter and ongoing style emails because they follow a sequence and they are started by like a certain trigger point. So this could be someone signed up to your email list. It could be that they've signed up and then they've abandoned a basket on the website. So they've come to the website, they've added products to the basket, and then they've left without purchasing. And then an email automation is something that happens once that event's been triggered. So the benefits to email marketing automations are that they save time. So anything that you have at the moment, any sales processes which are quite manual, can actually be automated through email. So that's going to save you time. Generates leads while you sleep. So it's not something that anyone's going to have to manually trigger. It's just going to keep going. Whenever anyone hits that certain event, they're then going to get the emails in that automation. Increases revenue. So you're building trust with your audience. You're sending them products that they're going to be interested in. It's going to bring in more sales. And it's also going to mean that they're more likely to purchase again and become a repeat customer, which leads on to the next one, which is retains customers. So again, you're building a relationship with them. And also by sending them interesting emails, you're staying in their front of their mind. So they're more likely to come back again and become a repeat customer. Helps to monitor campaigns. So because it's all automated, you can set up triggers and measures and things within the automation, which mean that you can monitor how the campaign's going. If people actually go on to click on certain emails or they do certain things within the automation, then you can trigger it to do something else. It's just a really good way of setting up an automated sales process. And the last one is it shortens sales cycles. So it reduces the amount of time between a customer finding you and signing up or purchasing by giving them the information that they need without them having to go looking for it. So say someone signs up to your email list, you can then send them information to make sure that they come back and make a purchase as soon as possible. And it also as well, if you're engaging with them, then you're asking them to come back and make a purchase before they may have thought about you. Okay, I think Dale's dropped off. Is he still there? Cool. Thank you, Dale.
I'm still here, just giving you all the attention you deserve for this.
Thanks, Dale. I was like,
super knowledge.
He's gone. Cool. So to talk a bit more about the interesting stuff. So what types of automations do we recommend? So if you're on an e-commerce platform, then there are some key automations that we recommend setting up. So the first one is a welcome sequence. So this is typically a sequence of 3 to 5 emails that are triggered once a customer signs up to your newsletter. So whether they subscribe, they get the welcome sequence, they go through, they get the information through that way. Re-engagement sequence. So this one is more focused on, say someone's been subscribed to your list for 6 months or more, then perhaps they haven't clicked on any emails in a while, perhaps they haven't made a purchase in a while, then a re-engagement sequence is really trying to get them to re-engage with your emails again or come back and make another purchase. Abandoned basket, so I talked about this one on the last slide. So abandoned basket is where someone's added a product to basket, they're signed up to the newsletter, and then you can actually send them emails to get them to come back and make that purchase. Browse abandonment is another one which on some email platforms is really, really valuable. So you can actually send out emails where customers have only viewed the product. So instead of them having to add it to basket, you can actually send them an email which shares the products that they viewed. And then you can perhaps put in like an incentive or just something to get them to come back and make that purchase. Preference emails, this is all about collecting like preferences from customers. So say you've got information when they first sign up, you may just have their email address or their name. By sending out a preference email sequence, you can ask them more information about the types of products that they like, the services that they're interested in, as anything you want really, whatever you can split your customers up into in preferences for your business, you can send that in an email and gather that information, which then means that when you email them next time, you can be more targeted and send out specific emails depending on what they chose preference-wise. Review collection. So I'm sure a lot of businesses already do this, but it's really great to sort of put it into your email marketing strategy. So this is collecting reviews, testimonials, user-generated content, just really kind of trying to get that trust and credibility from your audience. And the last one, birthday and anniversary, which is quite self-explanatory. So just sending out a little email around a year that they've been a customer or their birthday is just quite a nice touch to get them to come back to the campaign, get them to come back to the website, purchase again. So those are the key ones that we recommend. And we typically do those. We recommend getting those set up within like the first quarter of an email campaign, because if you've got an e-commerce business, these ones are really the ones that can have a massive impact on conversions.
Jess from the marketing team, was just pointing out that the energy drinks that she buys from, I send her emails asking like how many drinks that she will have in a day or in a week, so they can set like how they make recommendations on how much that she should be buying or subscribing to on a monthly basis. And that immediately, just that small question in one email can increase, average order value, can increase lifetime transaction value, all that kind of stuff. So just from one email, like a campaign that we discussed recently is for one of our clients. We were just talking about earlier internally was they sent one email by Flora went out for one of our clients, and they earned £30,000 worth of revenue through that singular email. So it just goes to show like how much money can be generated from singular emails, whether that's preference emails or an offer or something like that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that is all marketing channels are all super beneficial, but I think where email is different is that as soon as you press go live on that automation, someone could get that email within a minute and they could come and make a purchase within a minute. I know that with some channels, it can take like a few months to start seeing the benefits, but yeah, email is really immediate. And I think that's why it's so good.
Yeah, definitely undervalued, I think, but I think that's changing in the last couple of years. People are starting to really come to the realization that email is an essential. It's not like something you add on top. It's a must-have. And yeah, Alex, great information so far. I couldn't agree more. And if you are enjoying the stream, you're enjoying what Abby has to share, please do hit like or love, or it depends really which which channel you're watching from. But it's all really appreciated. So you've got a couple of examples that you want to share, so I'll bring those up for you.
Yeah, so just a couple of examples just to give you an idea of what emails look like. So these are typically like e-commerce ones that we're focusing on here. So I've got one from Glossier and one from Starbucks. So these are typical welcome emails. So the very first email, we typically recommend keeping it short and sweet, just a nice thank you message, sharing the incentive. So that's really, really important. I'll touch on that again later in the presentation, is that if you're offering an incentive, it needs to be sent out immediately. So if you're saying, 10% off your first order if you sign up, that needs to be like front and center in the very first email you send out. So these are two welcome email examples. They're just welcome ones. Okay, so the next ones are re-engagement emails. So it's a similar type of language. So it's like, thank you for joining. Just really sort of getting the brand message across and building, it's like a conversation with the customer. Whereas these ones, it's the same again, would be sharing an incentive or an offer, but it's more focused on like, we miss you, please come back type of thing, but framing it in a way that really reminds them why they love the brand so much and signed up in the first place. Okay, the next ones. So these are review emails. So here's a couple of examples. I put 2 examples in here that I thought, because these are the types, it either goes one way or another with email. So on the right-hand side, the Bloom and Wild one, this is very text focused. It's a very simple email. It looks quite close to the type of email that we send all day through Gmail or iCloud or whatever you're using for that. So you can either go for the simple option or for the more designed option from Anthropology. It really depends on your business, and there isn't a right or wrong way to do it. But yeah, really, like, that's another thing to try and like test it out and see, yeah, which works best for your business. But both of these emails, I think, would bring in a lot of good reviews. So it's worth, yeah, just testing different options. Fab. So these are the preference emails I've mentioned. I think what Dale was saying earlier about how email it's becoming a lot more popular again. It was seen as like quite undervalued, but I think with the preferences, with the additional segmentation, I think that now a lot more companies are being more specific and targeted and collecting this data, so that instead of you just receiving a generic email, you're receiving an email that's promoting products that you're going to like, or sending you information that you're going to be interested in reading in, instead of just being really general. So I think these preference types emails are super valuable to do to get extra information from your audience. Abandoned cart emails. So I'm sure we've all received one of these at one point or another. I think the majority of businesses do this now, is that if you've landed on a website, you've added products to the basket, you've left, you'll get an email. It's really encouraging you to come back. This one here from Levi's has got a 25% off your purchase. Yeah, these emails typically perform like the highest on some of our email campaigns, just because you'd be surprised how many people have just forgotten, or they've gone off and done something else, and then you get them to come back and hook them back in with an email. Okay, so moving on to the more structure of the sequences. So we've put on here, this is a general template that we used for a welcome sequence. So within a welcome sequence, we have the first email, which is similar to the one we showed with Starbucks and Glossier. This is going to be the incentive email. It's going to be the big hi. It's going to be your discount code. It's the very first email they receive. So that's the incentive one. The welcome email. So typically in this one, we talk about like who you are, what the business is about. You share key information, which is typically the things a new customer or a new subscriber is going to want to see. The next 2 emails are quite similar. So this is where we go more into the valuable content and interesting content. So we don't always want to focus on promoting products all the time or promoting services. We really want to like drive engagement. So here's where we'll share like useful information, blog articles, videos. There may be like a case study in there to build credibility. We look at overcoming objections, sharing customer reviews. This is really, it's not so much about convert now. It's more about engaging with them, building that relationship and establishing them as making sure that they're happy with the brand and giving them good reasons to enjoy your emails going forward. And then the last one after the other 4 emails, and again, a welcome sequence doesn't have to be 4 emails. It could be 10, it could be 20. I know at Exposure Ninja, we use a much, much bigger sequence of emails, but this is just a really, really good starting point, and then building from here, but using the 4 types of emails that we've included. So the last one is the conversion email, and this is where you'd remind them about the incentive again. You'd really push like your best-selling products or your key marketing message. This is a real like sales email. So
I was just going to quickly highlight Jess's comment here, which is I leave my basket for a while just in case they send me a discount code.
I do that too. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. That's a good shout. It does happen like a lot. Yeah, a lot of businesses do that. And even now, even if you browse products, I've noticed a lot more that when you just look at a product on a website and all of a sudden they're sending you emails, and it kind of feels like sometimes, oh, are they listening to me? But it's just really, really like super, super technical cookies and things. So they're not listening to you. They've just seen what you've looked at on the website. So
yeah, it's becoming super common in B2B marketing as something called account-based marketing, which is kind of they understand exactly who you are. Like if you go to some websites, I was on one website yesterday and they had my profile picture on their website. I was just like, wow. This is just terrifying. Like they knew exactly which company I worked for. They knew exactly who I was. They even used like the company name. It's it gets me more on board with that company and thinking, okay, tell me more. You seem to know so much about me. Tell me more.
Yeah. It got you engaged though, didn't it? Straight away, you were like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm interested.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Cool. I'll move on to the next slide and take myself away.
Thanks, Dale. Okay, so the next one is the re-engagement sequence. So with this one, there's really one of two options that we want to get from this sequence. So we either want to re-engage them by getting them to come back and sign up for a service, make another purchase, or engage with your emails again. So start reading the emails, click through, or the other option, which is a really, really important one, is for list cleaning. So it may be that if you've had an email list for a long time, you might find that people, they change their email address, or they no longer use that email address at all, or perhaps they're like genuinely not interested in the brand anymore because your products or your services just aren't what they need. So there's two options with this one. We either want to re-engage them and bring them back to enjoying your emails and clicking and opening them, or if at the end of this email sequence they don't engage at all, then this is the emails that we typically recommend list cleaning. So perhaps removing them from the list completely, or just making sure that you're not emailing them in your main email, so you're getting the best deliverability possible. So within here, we've got a re-engagement email, which is very similar to the first welcome sequence email with the incentive. So we miss you, come back, here's a discount, or here's an incentive to come back to us again. The second email is more engagement focused. So perhaps you want to share information, some like new articles or new products or any like updates, which will be interesting to them, which is additional, really like encouraging them to come back to the website and remind them why they like the brand in the first place, but more focused on like useful and interesting content over sales and incentives. And then the last email is really conversion focused, focusing on driving the discount. You may want to, in this one, put a time scale in this. You may want to say something like 20% off your next order if you purchase in the next 7 days, or really just add in like some urgency in there to try and get them to re-engage. So that's that one. And yeah, I think this one, we get a lot of questions about list cleaning and how to do that. And I really think this is like the best way to do it, because it really identifies who is engaged with your brand and who is not engaged anymore. And we really just want to focus on emailing the people who are engaged. Okay, so it's a little bit hard to see this because there's quite a lot of things on there, so I apologize. But this is actually on Klaviyo, which is one of the email platforms we recommend. It works for most CMS, but particularly with Shopify, which we work with a lot of websites on. This one is a really, really good pairing together because it's got a lot of features. You can actually be super specific about segmentation. So if someone has purchased a specific product within the last month, then they're going to get a certain sequence of emails. If they haven't, then they're going to get a certain sequence of emails. Then you can be really, really specific. And this is a typical re-engagement sequence. So you can just see that it's got the specific targeting at the top, the segmentation. These smaller boxes are the weight between emails. So I've seen sometimes where people set up an email sequence and send out an email every single day. We don't typically recommend that because we really want to give people time to take the information in and also make sure we're not coming across as spammy. And yeah, that's how that's set up here. There's a little option at the top. This is like an if or. So really depending on what the audience has done, you can split it up even further within the sequence as well. And then it's got the emails in there. So it's got an email send. Wait, I think it's quite hard to see. I think it's wait 10 days on there. And then it sends another email out. And of course, this email sequence could go on forever. And you could just keep actually sending out different emails. Dale's popped in.
Yeah, I tried to zoom in there, so sorry for messing up the slides. Apparently you can't zoom in whilst you're doing slides. Otherwise, it'd be really nice. It would be really nice to be able to see that. So sorry about that.
Definitely. Yeah, but we've got, I think, 99% of the campaigns that we work on, we build the sequences that we've recommended, and they really, really do turn around conversion rate really quickly. So yeah, if anyone has any questions around like where to start, I'll talk about that a bit more later as well. But yeah, so this is an example of a win back and re-engagement sequence. And an abandoned cart example as well. So in here, it's just, they all look very similar, but it's just got the actual specific targeting, some specifics in there. So within an abandoned cart sequence, what's really, really useful to do and what is going to be super valuable to the customer journey is making sure that if you send someone out an abandoned cart email, that you have that trigger then to make sure that, okay, well, did they make a purchase since I sent out the last email, and making sure that then next time you send out an email, you're only sending it to people who are still genuine abandoned carts, rather than emailing someone again and them thinking, well, I've already purchased. So yeah, putting triggers like that in there just really elevate the customer journey and give them a better experience. And then a welcome sequence example. So within here, how they've set it up is they've got different demographics within there. So at the top, it's subscribe to our newsletter, but then they've broken it down by different demographics. And then each segment, each group of customers is going to receive a slightly different welcome sequence. So this is something you can do from the very beginning, or you can start with the more sort of generic welcome sequence to everyone and then work more towards that. But this is really what we like to aim for, is really making sure that from the very first email they get, that they're getting a really tailored experience. Okay, so lead gen automations. So this is very, very similar to e-commerce, but it's just slightly different. So within the lead gen ones, we just don't recommend doing the abandoned cart and the browse abandonment. There is a way that within lead gen, you can actually lead it into your sales process instead. So you can actually set up like a follow-up sequence. So if someone sent you in an email requesting information, or they've sent in a lead by filling out a lead form, then you can set up an email sequence that goes out to them, follows up, sees how they're getting on. So it's similar to an abandoned cart, but it's more an abandoned form and then they haven't come back to you since. So it works a little bit differently. So other than that, they're all the same. So the welcome sequence, re-engagement sequence, review collection, preference emails, and the birthday and anniversary ones. And then I'm sure everyone here has seen these before. These are our Exposure Ninja emails. So there really is two options. You don't have to do them like this. You can really go with the more design style of e-commerce, but really think about your audience. Are they going to want to have a really designed email, or are they going to respond better to these types of emails, which I'm sure Dale's got more metrics on it, but our emails, they perform really, really well by using the very text focus with just a few images in there. So that goes back again to testing and making sure that you're testing different design styles, testing different elements, and sending out the right type of emails. Great emails with lots of design look amazing, but if you're going to spend 4 hours creating one email and then your audience prefers the text-based ones, it's definitely better to know that at the start, so you're not investing a lot of time into something that isn't working for your audience.
Yeah, on that point of which emails work best for us, it's kind of a bit of a split. Like, we've tried it all over the last couple of years. I mean, Tim writes a majority of the older emails that you see in the email system, but it's a team effort for some of the ones you see there. Yeah, sometimes the real text-heavy ones, just text, this is what the outline of the thing that I'm showing you, so a video or blog post, and they tend to do really well. And then the reverse, we'll send out one that's mainly just a thumbnail for the video, watch the video, it's premiering now, or it's just gone live, or what have you, and they do really well. So we find that actually, if you combine the two, to give people the option that they can read the text at the top, or they can a lot of people obviously scan a lot of their emails really quickly nowadays, that they can scan and see what the subject matter is of this post. So people who want to read it, they can read through that initial text, or they can get straight through to the video. It's entirely up to them. So this is kind of like best of both worlds approach for us.
Yeah, definitely. I think the Eon emails look amazing, and if you are service based, then I definitely think it's worth trying this style of email, because we find that they work really, really well.
Cool. Next slide for you.
Okay, so this one is very similar to what I talked about earlier. So email, just the general email strategy, except this one is really more focused on email automations. So just a breakdown of what I would include within that strategy. So segmentation, the typical segmentation ones that we focus on are purchase behavior. So how many times have they purchased? What's the value of their purchase? How long have they been a customer? What products do they like? What brands do they like? You can really be as detailed or as not detailed. You can go from whether they've purchased or not, all the way down to what products they bought and when they last bought them. Email behavior, so how often are they clicking on your emails? What types of emails are they clicking on? How long have they been a subscriber? Those types of ones in there. And then product and service preferences. So this goes back to that preferences email. And you can also, of course, use cookies and see what people have actually browsed on the website, what they've added to basket. I know on some email platforms, you can also see what people have put in their wish list and use that information. So yeah, that's the different segments that we recommend focusing on. Targeting. So once you've got this list of segments, who are you going to target? So which segment are you going to target for each email automation? So really that's like who the emails are going to be targeting. Sorry, excuse me. Sign up CTAs. So this is really focused on like how you're going to collect the emails. So it's really, really important part of email marketing is being able to get people's email addresses and making sure they're opted in. So website sign-up forms. Sorry, my voice going. Website sign-up forms with incentives. And also we recommend doing this on social media pages as well. The next one on here is the sales funnel. So we've actually got a really great video that Tim did a while back, which is talking about how you can really automate your sales process and do that through email marketing. So we're going to link that underneath this video in the description. But yeah, that's a really good one to watch. But basically that just goes into how you can really automate your sales process with email marketing. It's something that, yeah, really massively was a big part of Exposure Ninja's growth. And it's that follow-up process again. So using email marketing and using automation to really drive that sales process and give your customers that great customer journey without having to do anything manually. Content. So we've got a slide coming up about content more specifically, but this is a really imperative part of the campaign. So what content are you going to include? What are you going to talk about? What type of sequence is this? Is this like an informational sequence where you're sort of a course-based business where you're offering someone like a 7-day free course? So you're going to give them lots of educational content. Is this a fashion e-commerce brand where you're going to be talking about trends and brands and information that is going to be really interesting to those types of audience? So you really have to think about the content that your audience want to see rather than always what you want to promote. So I think that's like a really big one as well, is making sure that you're thinking, what are they going to want to read? What are they going to be interested in seeing, rather than just focusing on pushing products all the time or pushing your sales messages. Design. So we just touched on this as well, but what will your email look like? A/B testing and the level of design included. So this is definitely something that we do right at the start of campaigns, and then we test it all the time. So we're always looking at how different emails perform, where people have clicked, the types of emails that get better engagement. And then from that, it really directs us on what we do with the next emails. Launch, which is, yeah, really simple, making those emails live. So when you make an email sequence live, it's really, really satisfying because you can really see, like, as people are going through the sequence, you can see people queued up to the next email, you can see people going in and opening it. And rather than it just being a single newsletter where you wait a day or two, you've got those full results, it really is a constant thing. And you can see every day how many people have received those emails. Yeah, I'm a bit of an email geek, so I find that quite satisfying. And lastly, review. So review is really just going back through, reviewing the performance, seeing what worked well, and identifying any potential opportunities to improve going forward. So yeah, and we include all of that at the very start of our email campaigns. We really do all of this as part of our email strategy. So we'll go through all of these points and, yeah, really identify the key areas that we're going to focus on. Thanks, Dale. Where to start? So these are some really key takeaways to really focus on with all of your emails. So not sending the same message. Oh, sorry, missed the first one. So sales funnel and customer journey. So really, yeah, plotting out how the emails fit into this. So making sure that it's really benefiting your sales and customer journey, adding value to it, adding efficiency or increasing conversions, and making sure that your sales process and your email marketing are completely aligned as well, because they work really seamlessly together. Not sending the same message, so keeping your emails fresh and interesting. Think about, again, what you'd like to receive in your inbox. Not sending irrelevant messages, so really focusing on that segmentation and targeting. Two-way conversations. So I think a really big one that a lot of people sometimes will look and go, oh, I've got 10,000 people on my email list, but it's really, really important to remember that you're only talking to one person. So even if you've got 10,000 subscribers, when you send that email, it's only going to be a single person reading that email. So it really needs to feel like a conversation with one person rather than a broadcast to a massive audience. and providing value with every email. So every time you send out an email, make sure that it's giving the person who's reading it some value. So we're asking them to give us their time to actually go through and read our email and hear what we want to say. So let's make sure that it's always valuable and interesting content. So how to create a conversion optimized email. So within here, I'm not going to go into too much detail about each because some of them are quite self-explanatory, but first of all, a landing page. Where do you want people who click on your emails to go? So this is really important just to make sure that if you are getting people coming through to the website from an email, that they're landing on the best page for what they're looking for. A subject line. Again, this is really important with A/B testing different ones. What's going to really be interesting to your audience and get them to click on that email. Eye-catching visuals, so whether that's the more minimal design or the really, really designed e-commerce style ones we looked at earlier, is just making sure that it's super eye-catching. Calls to action. So within an email, we recommend like one main call to action and then perhaps some small secondary ones. We don't really recommend having like an email just full of different buttons, calls to actions, click here to view this, click here to view something else. We really see a lot more better results when we have a main call to action in there. Tailored content. So yeah, just making sure that you're sending out content which is really going to be interesting and relevant to your audience. And urgency and scarcity. So if you're focused on more sort of discounts or offers or really want to drive people to do something, then adding in urgency. So say you want to do a 20% off discount, then really giving a time frame on that. So ends on a certain date, lasts for a certain amount of days to really try and get people to come back and purchase or sign up as soon as possible. And then continuing on, this is the more sort of technical side as well that we focus on when we're creating an email. So personal touches, tailored information, addressing the audience by their first name. Similar to what Dale said earlier, he landed on the website and had a really personal experience. So even just adding in someone's first name at the start of an email just makes it a lot more personal. Frequency, so recommend using A/B testing for this to identify the amount that you should send out. So we typically recommend a maximum of 3 emails a week to one person, but usually we see 1 to 2 is really the best place to be. And it really depends on your audience, though. It depends. This is where you want to link in as well. Like if you're also sending out newsletters, if you're also sending out ongoing emails, is making sure that within your automations that you're not doubling up. So someone's not getting regular newsletters while also getting like 2 or 3 emails from your automation, because that could be a bit overload. Send day and time. So this one, yeah, just testing different days and time. What time are you going to send out your email? What's the best time to do it? This is also a question that we get asked quite a lot, like when is the best time to send an email? There isn't a right or wrong answer. I think the best answer is to test it. And we also recommend a lot of website email platforms now have the option to resend to non-openers. So we also recommend using this. So sending out your first email, say lunchtime on a Friday, 1 o'clock, sending out that email and then setting it up to resend to anyone who hasn't opened it the next day at say 6 or 7 o'clock in the evening, because then that also means you can get a lot more data about the engagement at the start of your campaign without, it's basically getting more data from one email. Cool. Open rates. So I touched on this earlier, but just to highlight again that we really recommend focusing on click-through rate and conversions over open rate, just because it's quite technical, but with the new iOS updates, what happens now is with some emails, the new Apple update is that it will automatically say someone's opened an email when they haven't. So this is why we do look at it, and we do look at differences and changes, so improvements, but it's not the best indicator of performance. Deliverability. So this is it's a more technical area, which our email team are definitely more knowledgeable in than me. But we use various platforms. The 2 that we recommend to actually test your email deliverability is Litmus and MailGenius. So these 2 platforms, MailGenius in particular, is if you go onto there, you can actually put your email on there and it'll actually tell you things about like spam filters, if you're hitting all the deliverability checklist. Again, if this is something that you think you might be struggling with, then we've got a lot of experts here that can help with that. A/B testing that I've covered a lot, and mobile optimization, which we've talked about. So really, it seems like quite a big checklist, but I think a lot of these sort of overlap. And once you get into it, it really they flow together. And the last slide on here is what about email content? So this really is the types of content that we recommend sending out by email. Incentives, so anything that you could be offering. So this could be a discount code, it could be a lead magnet, it could be a free PDF or a report. Anything that you're sending out is a good thing to pop into emails. Valuable content, which is anything that the audience is going to find valuable. So this could be like a how-to guide in a blog. It could be an article, a video, just something that is, like, and we touched on it later, is useful and interesting and valuable to your audience. Overcoming objections. So this could be by answering FAQs, answering questions is very similar as well. So answering any questions that they have, using case studies, reviews to get credibility and trust. They all really tie in together. So these three here, overcoming objections, answering questions, and credibility and trust, is really like the absolute best when it comes to welcome sequences, because you're answering any questions that may be blocking them from making a purchase. You're giving them that trust and credibility through case studies, and you're also as well just answering any questions that they have. So if they've any of the FAQs that come up, really. So yeah, that's the end of my presentation. I hope you've enjoyed listening to my voice for a very long time. Dale's back.
I am indeed. Abby, that's been fantastic. There's so much useful information that I think people can take away and start using now. So everyone in chat, I appreciate if you can drop your questions into the chat now if you have any, and Abby will be able to answer them for the last 10, 15 minutes we have in the chat. Otherwise, we'll end things early. If you could hit like as well and show your appreciation, that would be fantastic too. Abby, I do have a question. You mentioned earlier that we use a couple of different email marketing tools. Is it Klaviyo or Klaviyo that we use? Well,
yeah, so we use, there's so many different ones that we use. So we use Infusionsoft, ActiveCampaign, MailChimp, Klaviyo, Drip, Pipedrive. We've even looked at Salesforce for certain things. We work with so many different platforms. I think there's probably a lot more in there as well, but there's so many out there. But if you are unsure about which one to use or which one to choose, like for your business, then yeah, we're always happy to help as well. I know in particular, the sales team, when I speak to them, they are regularly given information about which platform to use and which is best for your business.
Awesome. Just one thought. So we have like an email marketing system that you might use. So you might use all of those or MailChimp. Like in our case, we use Keep because we have 26,600 and something contacts that we send emails to on a daily basis. What other kind of tools do you think that businesses are not really utilizing enough? Now, you mentioned there was Mail Genius. That sounds fantastic. Are there any others that you think the businesses aren't maybe overlooking at the moment?
So one that we use a lot is Litmus. Litmus is an email testing platform that was something that our email strategy manager, Hannah, recommended to us a good while ago. And it's really, really useful because you can put your email onto Litmus and test it in every single email client and device. So what Litmus allows you to do, because before we send out an email, we'll send a test proof. So I'll send it to my email address if I'm sending an email out. And we can actually put that email onto Litmus and look at it on iPhone, Android, Google, like Gmail, iCloud. So that one is, incredibly valuable because it gives that testing option and makes sure that everyone's going to see that email in a really great way. Typically, most of the other ones we use are platform-based. So it's actually on the email platform like MailChimp or Klaviyo. And then we use the other like design style ones. So we use Canva to do a lot of our banner design. And then the team use Dreamweaver as well to build their HTML emails. Oh,
I just realized I've been
you're muted. Sorry, I wasn't sure if it was me.
Jess, who's in the background, has all the controls available. You could have unmuted me. How dare you? Oh, you can't unmute me. Okay, well. Oh, well. I was... Okay, let's go back 90 seconds. So email marketing system, the one we use is Keep. Unfortunately, it doesn't use the tool that I was going to recommend. It's called Spark Loop. I don't know if you're familiar with that one.
I don't think I am. Teaching me
Okay,
something.
so this is what I'd like to know to ask about. Basically, it's a referral system that I see that a lot of newsletters using, where if you refer other people to sign up to a newsletter a number of times, you get gifts in return. So, for example, there's a company called a newsletter called Morning Brew or Marketing Brew or what have you, where they make recommendations that they send you a daily email, and at the bottom, if you do enough referrals, you get stickers for referring 3 other people to sign up, or a mug when you refer 10 people to sign up. Are you familiar? Are there any tools similar to that you can recommend to people, or would you say that those are only specifically for newsletters, or could you see those being applied to B2B companies, B2C companies, e-commerce, and so on?
Yeah, so we haven't actually used many of them ourselves yet, but we do work with clients who actually have like loyalty schemes and referral programs. So there are definitely, I don't know off the top of my head, but there are definitely a lot out there. And depending on whether you're B2B, B2C, Shopify, WordPress, those types of ones, we can still do email campaigns through there, but it's like a plugin which you can put on your website. So you can actually, some of the ones we've seen where you collect loyalty points, or it's like a referral scheme. So it's those types of ones where, yeah, you get different incentives depending on how many points you collect, or you get a discount code. So it's definitely something we recommend. I just don't know any specifically on the top of my head, but it is something we can include in the campaign as well. And we do recommend it.
Awesome. We do have a couple of questions coming through. So Phil is asking, if your time is limited, what's the most efficient way to do an A/B test?
So I think the most efficient way to do an A/B test if you're limited on time is by creating the same email with different examples. So if you create one email, one's got one type of CTA and one's got a different one, and then you can actually do samples of your audience, and you can say that 50% of the audience is going to get this email and 50% of the audience is going to get another email. And if you're sending out 2 a week, then very quickly, if you used the same CTA in the same 2 that week, and you split it up into 2 different audiences, then you'll very quickly be able to see which one had the most engagement. So yeah, that's definitely what we recommend if you are limited on time, is just, yeah, doing A/B testing on the same email, basically, is just doing it very quickly that way.
Super. Remember to unmute myself this time. Fantastic. I've got another question. This is from Andrea asking, how would you recommend people boost their numbers within their email marketing lists?
So first of all, I'm going to say what you should not do. So what you should not do is have a sign up on your website that just asks people to sign up to your newsletter for updates. So although this does seem like the best way to do it because it is so commonly used, to really get people to want to sign up and hand over their email address, you need to offer them something of value. So that could be a discount code, or for a lot of our B2B clients or our service-based clients, we actually recommend things like reports, free PDFs. If you're you offer courses, you could offer a free course, you could offer a free how-to guide, free consultation, free marketing review. So yeah, like it really offers someone an incentive, because I think we can all agree now that in 2022 we get so many emails that you have to be offering us something good to go for it, Dale. Yeah, you have to be offering us something good to have us give over our email address.
Fantastic. Any more questions going through this? I have a little scroll through. Otherwise, I've got plenty I can ask. Not that I can see, but Jess is saying that she's always sold on stickers. So that's good to remember when we start doing Exposure Ninja stickers for a referral system we set up. Super cool. In a couple of minutes, I'm just going to do a price draw for our book. So if you haven't yet asked a question or said anything nice in the chat, make sure you do in the next like 3 or 4 minutes, and we'll do a draw for a copy of our book. Otherwise, you can actually get a copy of the ebook or the PDF version by going to exposureninja.com/YouTube, or you can just use the links down below. If you're watching this on YouTube right now, you can sign up and get a copy of the book to read immediately. Otherwise, yeah, you can get a paperback copy, a blurry paperback copy, including a link to all of our templates as well. So you can do keyword research the same way that we do. So yeah, you can do that. Just again, be active in the chat. We'll do a draw in just a moment or two. Nadine has a question. So sorry, what was the HTML creating platform called? I think I missed that too.
So we use Adobe Dreamweaver to create emails. So it's one of the Adobe platforms. And then with that, you just create the emails in HTML directly on there. And then I just recommend checking, because it's only very few. Some platforms don't allow HTML emails. They only let you use the drag and drop system, but most do. And yeah, I think it's really valuable. It's both work really well, but HTML is really what the sort of the next level, like really high-end businesses use to really get that elevated design and making it look as close as possible to the website, really.
Super. We've got another question here from Jack over on LinkedIn, who's asking, is there anywhere good for email inspiration?
So there's a couple that we like to use. So there's one which is called Really Good Emails. I believe it's just reallygoodemails.com. We also use another one which is called Mail Charts, where on Mail Charts you can actually go onto the website and you can look at different businesses. You can search for like really any business on there if you know the brand name, and it'll show you the emails they're sending out. It'll also show you like the automations they've got set up. I think as well, if you pay for it, we don't have the paid one, we use it mainly for inspiration. But if you also have the paid version, you can even see like the performance and the metrics as well there. And then a good one that we use is Pinterest, because yeah, you can just search on there for welcome sequence example and it'll bring up loads of options. But yeah, Really Good Emails is definitely one of my favorites.
Yeah, absolutely love this website. Any kind of swipe file system like this, big fan of. But again, it's really key that you do the A/B testing and see, okay, do our customers, do our potential leads and clients, do they prefer something plain text that's just really basic, or do they prefer something really snazzy like this? I don't know if you see, is it more common for e-commerce stores to have more design heavy emails, or do they also do quite well with only text-based as well?
Most of the e-commerce ones that we do tend to perform better with more design elements, but we do have some that are quite scaled back. So like the one that I showed earlier, which was the review email, and it just had like a header at the top, text, and then a CTA, that you can still bring in your brand without it being like a completely designed email. So yeah, we definitely do see emails that perform well with less design. Yeah, the Bloom and Wild one. So we definitely do have some like that, which also perform really well. But yeah, generally, I think the ones which are more designed are better for things like abandoned cart and product focused ones. I think on e-commerce, the ones which are more informational, so if you're sharing an article or like really valuable, interesting information, then those types of ones could be better text-based. But then when you're like abandoned cart and stuff, it is better with the design.
Super. We do have just one question here from someone asking, which isn't about email, but it's about this stream, which is they weren't able to catch the start of this. Can they watch it later? Absolutely. So if you are watching us on YouTube now, after this stream is finished, if you just refresh and go back to the channel, you should see this recording come up immediately, but sometimes a little bit delayed by a few minutes. But you can watch the entire thing again and hear all of Abby's fantastic knowledge nuggets. Let's go that way. Super. Anyone have any more questions before we do the price draw? Just a few moments left. I'm just very quickly just going to re-highlight that we do have an event coming up in a few weeks. Where we will talk about other email marketing, but also some of the other marketing channels that businesses have available, e-commerce stores and what have you. It doesn't matter if you're B2B, B2C, or e-com, or D2C, or whatever abbreviation, acronym, whatever you want to use. They're all going to be covered in our event, Dominate 2022, where we're going to have some of our best marketing consultants talking, as well as our founder, Tim Cameron Kitchen, will be doing a talk too. It's going to be 8 hours. It's going to be 9 o'clock in the morning till 5 o'clock in the afternoon, so you can drop in and out if you prefer, but we will be covering a number of subjects. This is for founders, agency owners, business owners, e-com owners, heads of marketing, heads of sales, you name it. If you are responsible for increasing your business's revenue in any way, you'll be able to learn plenty from this. As I say, all of our fantastic team are going to be there, including myself and Jess. We're going to be discussing these things, or how we help the business to increase their revenue from 3 figures a month to millions per month using SEO, how the highest performing websites make them visitors buy. We have some roundtable discussions too about how to do digital marketing for boring businesses, how to get featured by well-respected websites. That's about content marketing, how to get your brand published or just featured on important websites where your customers may be. how to workshop your landing pages to sell more. So that's about conversion rate optimization, how to increase your conversion rate. Also, another roundtable about how to create a successful digital marketing strategy, how to spy on your competitors' digital marketing to see what they're doing PPC wise, SEO wise, how they're earning all their traffic. And Tim will be doing a keynote about the lessons he's learned from the fastest growing businesses in 10 years of doing digital marketing. Super. So if you are registered, do hop over there now. So it's exposureninja.com/dominate, and you'll be able to register for a ticket for that. Cool. That's pretty much us done. Yeah, time for the prize draw, which I'll do now if I can get the right window open. So bear with me a sec. Here we go. Abby, do you have any plans for this weekend?
Not at the moment, no. I have it's quite a free weekend, which is nice. The sun's come out today, so we might take the dog for a walk at the beach. So I'm down in Cardiff, so quite close to the coast. Very rainy. It's completely true what they say about Wales. It rains all the time, but yeah, it's actually not supposed to be nice this weekend for a change. So
I just noticed that Jess has won our book. Let's draw again.
I'll go, Jess.
Jess, you've got a copy. How dare you? You're not allowed another one. Okay. William Davis, fantastic. William, if you would like to get in touch with me directly, you can go just email me, dale@exposureninja.com. Send me your postal address as well as a contact phone number so we can just confirm your delivery is on its way, and we'll get that sorted and get it posted out to you. Again, that's dale@exposureninja.com, and we'll get that sorted out. Abby, I can't thank you enough for joining us today. Honestly, you were superb, and everything you had to share was, I'm sure, really useful for the businesses, business owners, all the lovely people joining us today. I think next week we're going to be doing our live website reviews. So if you want your website reviewed, make sure you do join us next Friday at 1 p.m. Submit your website in advance using the form that will be in the, if you sign up, if you join our mailing list, you'll be able to get a notification about that and how to do so. But yeah, that's pretty much us done for today. Thanks, Abby, again. Can't thank you enough.
Thanks, Dale.
Fantastic stream. And I'll see everybody next Friday.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks for having me. Bye. Bye.